So today I'm going to take a look at what I consider to be the 3 best mods for DCS World. These aircraft are just the highest quality all around in terms of how they're modeled, the weapon systems, the flight model, all that stuff. And of course the first one is the recently released OV-10 Bronco mod by Split Air. And this thing is just a really nice little versatile aircraft. It can take off from land and as well as from pretty much anywhere else that has a decent flat spot that's long enough, including amphibious assault ships. And it even has reversible props, so believe it or not, you can actually go backwards on the ground in it. Look at that. It also has pretty accurate rocket pods and machine guns with a whole lot of ammo. Even if they are relatively small caliber, these M60D machine guns are surprisingly effective against aircraft and light skinned ground targets as well as infantry. The OV-10 is extremely well modeled, definitely on the level of some DCS World official modules, both in terms of the external model and the interior cockpit. It's partially clickable, and I mean, you can just see the detail. Look at the dirt on the windscreen and all the texturing all over the instrument panel and everything like that. And it also has a quirky but pretty realistic flight model. For a turboprop aircraft, you won't be doing any high-G dogfighting in this if you know what's good for you, because it has a tendency to fall out of the air a lot. But what it really does excel at is things that require flying low a lot, like FAC-A, for example. The second aircraft I have on my list here is the A-29B Super Tucano mod, and this thing is really a step up in several ways from the OV-10, although not in terms of fidelity. The A-29's cockpit is definitely a little bit lesser than the OV-10, as you can see here. But this aircraft is actually a really nice precision aircraft when it comes to unguided ordnance, thanks to its heads-up display as opposed to only having a fixed gun sight like the OV-10. And it can also be a pretty decent bomber as well. The A-29 also has AIM-9 mic versions of the Sidewinder, all aspect, so it does have a little bit more self-defense potential there for air-to-air. The machine guns are 50 cal instead of 30 caliber, and the hard points can carry a bit more in the way of ordnance. The OV-10 can only carry bombs up to 750 pounds. The A-29 is good for bombs of up to 1,000 pound size. And this plane, if it looks like kind of like a turboprop version of a World War II aircraft, well, that's because it kind of is, sort of, with more modern avionics and whatnot. It can actually dogfight against World War II aircraft pretty well, and even give modern aircraft a hard time if they're not expecting it. The third aircraft on my list is the A4E Skyhawk community mod, aka the Scooter. This airplane is definitely a step up from the Super Tucano in terms of performance. It's a full-on jet aircraft, and it's capable of both air-to-ground and air-to-air missions, even simultaneously. This thing can carry up to 4 Sidewinders, as well as anti-radar missiles and the usual array of bombs and rockets. And it's actually quite effective against surface-to-air missile sites, particularly ones from the time in which this aircraft was a front-line attack aircraft during the Vietnam War. This thing is surprisingly maneuverable, and it can readily out dogfight other aircraft that you wouldn't necessarily expect it to, which is one of the reasons it was used by the Top Gun Navy fighter weapons schools and a dresser aircraft. This thing wasn't called the Scooter for nothing. The cockpit is extremely well detailed as well, and I really don't have any more to say about it. I mean, this thing is amazing. Definitely on the same level as most official DCS World modules. And that's pretty much all I have to say. This is my recommended list of the 3 best mods for DCS World. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.